When I was looking on Anthropologie's website, they had a lot of like fabric wall hangings that were really cool. So I wanted to recreate something similar from the thrift store. I found this old like wool pillow cover at the thrift store. It was in the shape of a square and it was just like a thick fabric, and I thought it would be really cool for this project. So I picked it up. I'm also going to be using a package of the gold rings that you can buy at Walmart. They're $2.88 and these are typically for wreaths, but I'm going to be using it to trace. So I'm going to be making a geometric pattern on this pillowcase. So I'm going to take the larger ring and I'm going to put it down at the bottom and I'm going to trace around the ring. Now I wanted it to look not like a circle. I wanted it to look more like it was rounded at the top and longer at the bottom. So I just kind of drew down a little bit at the edge, and then I'm going to, at the bottom, just paint across the bottom. Next, I took that middle ring and I'm going to trace the bottom half of it because I wanted to make a half circle. So I'm going to be using just a straight edge and I'm going to draw the line across. And then with the smaller ring, I'm going to use that and trace it at the top. So here's another hack. If you ever have sample paint, they are really inexpensive and they're great for DIY projects. So I'm going to be using this color Rainstorm by Sherwin-Williams that I had. It's a simple blue color that I think looks amazing. I started by trying to use a smaller brush and had to upgrade to a larger brush just because it was more of a textured fabric and the paint went on better. I'm simply just going to follow the lines and trace around and paint this piece. Now I only did one coat of paint, but I made sure that it was covered pretty well. So with fabric, you really don't have to wait and do drying coats. Just kind of put the paint on until you're happy with it. Now I wanted to have a hanger on this, so I used some nautical rope that I had to create a hanger. Now I hot glued the cord in place, and then I also reinforced it with duct tape. You want to make sure that it's nice and secure on the back, especially since it's going to be on fabric. You want to make sure it holds really well. Next, I'm going to take a really long dowel rod. These are actually those long bamboo skewers that they sell at Dollar Tree. And I'm going to cut it down to be the size of my pillowcase, because if I don't have something sturdy on the back, what's going to happen is because it's fabric, it's going to kind of fold into itself when I hang it up. So I want it to hang nice and straight. So you could have like, a paint stick or something. It doesn't have to be a dowel rod, just something on the back. And again, I'm going to hot glue that on and also add duct tape. Now, how gorgeous does this look in my bedroom next to this new chair that I have? This next hack is a really easy centerpiece idea. So you're going to pick up a mirrored tray. The one I grabbed was $5 in the Target dollar spot. So next I put a piece of paper on the top of the tray, and that's mainly just for camera angles whenever I'm doing this project, so you guys don't have to do that portion. Next I'm going to add a decorative border to the outside, and I found these really cool beads on Amazon. I'll link them for you down below. And I just love how they're these little half circles. Now I needed to add these with a really strong glue that was going to hold them in place. So I'm going to be adding the DAP Rapid Fuse Fast Curing Gel with Gel Control Applicator. I'm just going to put a tiny dot on the tray and then place the beads on top. Once that has a chance to cure, they're set to go in place, and then you could style this any way you wanted. I put some simple candles on it, and I think it looks great as a centerpiece. For our next hack, I'm gonna use a stool that I already had in my office, and I'm gonna be doing a paint dip technique. Now, I love any kind of paint technique. It's just so fun. So I'm gonna start by taking some painter's tape, and I'm gonna be measuring off the bottom of my stools. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I want the paint to go up at the same level on each of my legs, and I also want it to have a nice clean edge. Next, I'm going to be using that same blue color I was using earlier called Rainstorm, and I'm going to take the chair legs and just stick it down into the paint sample. Now, it didn't go all the way, so I kind of had to like move it around a little bit. And then you're gonna pull it up, let all of the excess paint drip off before you move it. Now this is gonna create a mess, so make sure you have something that you can set it on. So I'm gonna repeat this with all 3 of my legs. Now, if for some reason the paint did not get on your stool legs, you can always go back in with a brush and add a little bit of extra. Now, my recommendation is to let this set out. I would move it maybe every 30 minutes so that you don't want the paint to stick to whatever paper you put it on. So move it around to let all of that excess paint drip off. And here's a look at how my stool turned out. Hey guys, I'm Liz and you're watching my second DIY channel where I post daily DIY videos. You may be familiar with my main channel, Liz Fenwick DIY, but I'm glad that you found me over here on my second channel. Make sure that you're subscribed so you just get notified every day when I post our daily DIY video.